10 Star Trek Discovery positives you only notice on rewatch. There's a lot to love about Star Trek Discovery that's only noticeable on a rewatch. In 2017, Discovery was Star Trek's return to television after a 12-year drought and an experiment to figure out what Star Trek would be like moving forward. The episodic, ensemble-driven optimism that Star Trek embraced didn't fit the changing television landscape. When gritty, violent shows like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and The Walking Dead drew consistent audiences with character-focused, highly serialized drama. Star Trek would have to shift gears if it wanted to compete with buzzworthy prestige shows, and Star Trek Discovery was an attempt to elevate the franchise for a new generation. The result was a Star Trek that didn't look like Star Trek The Next Generation or even Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which had previously been the most realistic and serialized iteration of Star Trek. Discovery was grim compared to earlier entries, with an oppressive atmosphere on its eponymous USS Discovery, a controversial Klingon redesign, and a singular focus on one person in the cast of Star Trek Discovery, Sonequa Martin Green's Michael Burnham, Star Trek's first black female lead. And yet, for all that Star Trek Discovery was unfamiliar the first time around, a rewatch only proves that Discovery was exactly what the franchise needed. Star Trek Discovery isn't supposed to be an ensemble show. Star Trek shows prior to Star Trek Discovery featured an ensemble of characters that filled familiar roles and took turns in the spotlight, so the focus on Michael Burnham seems unusual when watching Discovery for the first time. On rewatch, however, we already know that Discovery isn't supposed to be an ensemble Star Trek show. Instead, Star Trek Discovery is the story of Michael Burnham's redemption as she journeys out of the darkest chapter of her life. It's not so strange that the audience is only exposed to information as Burnham is and only knows the characters Michael becomes close to at first. It's by design. On a rewatch, we know Captain Gabriel Lorca, Jason Isaacs, is from the Mirror Universe, and the USS Discovery's crew is capable of working together harmoniously instead of being selfish and secretive. When Lorca is captured by Klingons, the tone on board starts to shift. Cadet Sylvia Tilly, Mary Wiseman, and L.T.